Mutiny, Mr. Christian! No, you haven't pressed the handsome remote control button far too hard. I'm not Terry Christian, I'm Mark Lamarr, and the path I've accepted to travel you through on the next hour will be one of pain, joy, tears, more pain, and Dani Behr.
Well, thanks, Mark, and you thought you were safe with your cushy little show, and the words caught up with you now, haven't they?
Ah!
He's so sharp, he's going to cut himself one day. Well, on the Word tonight, we've got a lot of music for you, and actually, it's a bit of a departure for the Word, because we've made a slight concession, because this is pure pop, Mrs. Minogue's favourite daughter, Dani, with Loves on Every Corner.
Always gets me. Loves on every
Cheers, Dani. Over here so quickly. Sorry, I was watching, my attention was distracted there. Thanks for coming on. It's usual to say hello when you come over and meet someone. I didn't want to kiss, but fair enough. Thanks for coming on. What I wanted to talk to you about was a lot of things, basically. Put that away, because that's nasty. We don't condone violence on this show, certainly not with studded guns.
Mechanism to nasty questions.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you a lot of nasty questions, so that better be well filled up. I'm going to have a piss patch all over myself by the end of the show, aren't I? A lot of people don't know, a lot of people do know, obviously, because it's a well-documented fact, but a lot of people don't know that you were much more famous than your big sister in Australia a long time before her, on Junior Talent Time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a,
Which is very popular in the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a talent show, sort of like the Mickey Mouse Club, and I was like one of the little kids singing and dancing.
And isn't it true that you brought an album out, and you sang the final countdown?
They released an album from the show, and we just covered a lot of songs, and I sang The Final Countdown and Material Girl.
Can you sing the final countdown for us? Because I think a lot of people want to hear it, won't you? I'll do the backing. I'll do the backing. In fact, the whole crowd will do the backing.
Can you? Well, you start it up.
Da 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 da. Everyone. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Come on. Oh, they're ad-libbing around it. Go on. Yeah, I wanted to sing the lyrics. Well, the final countdown came in there somewhere, surely, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I've forgotten that song.
Everyone else in the crowd knows it. The one person who released it on an album doesn't know it at all.
The final countdown. It was something
wrong
like
tune,
that.
though, wasn't it? Completely wrong tune. But fair play for having a go. And is it true that you brought your sister on? There was like a Bring Along Your Sister show, and that was what made her famous?
There was we did concerts around Australia, and there was a concert where Kylie and Jason came on, and Kylie and I sang a song together.
Oh, so they were well famous by then?
Yeah.
But was she never on Junior Talent Time?
No.
Oh, I was lied to, basically.
Yeah.
Bad research, that's all. But so you went from being like a household name as a fetus, basically, to like suddenly you were like, you know, the sexy Minogue girl, and you brought your new film out, Secrets, which is like well passionate.
Well, yeah, big snog in that one.
But not a big hit, if you don't mind my saying. And you can't like, no, she can't, it was not a big hit, what am I going to do? If it was, I'd say, hey, great big hit, but it wasn't.
Well, it can't really be because it hasn't been released
yet. In Australia, I mean.
It's had a premiere there, but it's not released until next week, so... we won't know if it's a hit until next week.
But it wasn't a hit in your home country, that's what I was going to say. And look, you should have been using this. Anyway, on a good subject, because rain has been pelting down all this week, something that you probably don't see a lot of in Australia, or people turn up to your premieres either, to be honest. Rain's been falling down all week. My first week couldn't have got worse, get it? And we sent Katie to a small town in Gloucestershire, which, let's face it, it's going to be much drier than it is here. Anyway, this town's been really miserable. It's been bogged down with water. I know exactly how they feel, and Katie's gone to cheer the residents up. Katie, how's it going? She thinks she's got it so hard, doesn't she? Do you ever get... I've got to change subject now. I've got to pretend that I'm not soaking wet with water and just say, hey, do you ever get floods like that in Australia? But I'd rather... Can we calm down? Because I'll do it again. It doesn't make any difference to me. Dani, like a grown-up for 5 minutes, Maria. Anyway, I've got a lot of things to do tonight, and one of them is to introduce the next piece. If you take the blonde hair and black roots of Ulrika Johnson, the bulging biceps of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the girth of a French dresser, you've got Fabio, who's the latest hit on all the Hollywood calendars, and our Dani went over to Hollywood to have a look at him. Watch out for the glistening biceps on both of them and the sweaty cleavage.
You know.
But was he your cup of tea? Was he your cup of tea, Dani?
No, I don't think so.
What is your cup of tea? Poured over your head, probably. Anyway, we're going to have a lot of confusion tonight because we've got Dani, I'm Mark Lamarr, obviously, and we've got Marky Mark coming on later on, who's the man you're going to be talking to, isn't he? The Word. Remember, if there's anything you want to complain about on The Word, and I should imagine after tonight there'll be a lot, phone 0891 333 367 or write to the number that should be on the screens at the moment. Write to the number, write to the address. I'm so soaking, my mind's gone, water on the brain. One of the reasons I took this show, a lot of people do come up to me and they say to me, Mark, you used to have a good job. Why are you doing this? Getting soaked wet all night. You should have a nice, relaxing night. But I say no. There's only one reason I took the job on The Word. We get top bands on, and the top band on tonight are a band that are never going to be topped in a million years. I'm so wet, I can't talk at all, and I apologise for that. But it's our fault! They're one of my favourite bands. They're playing for the first time live on British telly tonight with their new single, Mr. Wendell. I'm having a nice time, I'm relaxing, we've made up.
What's wrong with you guys? You're throwing water in that?
Oh, I could just nod off now. At 27, Shabba Ranks is the reggae superstar of the world. His lyrics often boast of his sexual prowess, and his videos are almost always banned, like the one you're about to see, Slow and Sexy. Video. Now, get him off now. No, I'm only joking, because we've given you a very tough time tonight. That's good, though. That's good, though, yeah. Well, you like having a tough time? Yeah. You should have been on here earlier when she went water mad. Oh, no, I didn't know what's all that. Anyway, Shabba Ranks might be the king of Jamaican music, but there's a young pretender to the crown. Buju Banton is 19 years old and he's due to appear in this country at the weekend, but he's been banned from his WOMAD performances for fear his lyrics might cause offence. Little Terry went to see him in Jamaica. Shabba, are you a Buju Banton fan? What did you think of that piece?
Well, most definitely right now, I'm out of Jamaican. I'll be on the supporting side where all Jamaicans be concerned are people with progress. Well, within this world, you know, people be living the way they feel like they want to live. And if you don't have a free will to move about, you got freedom of speech, freedom of opinion.
But he's got freedom of speech, but his freedom of speech is saying go and shoot gay people. Surely that's wrong.
Well, most definitely right now, from a forfeit the law of God Almighty, you deserve crucifixion. Most definitely. The Bible, I live by the concept of the Bible, which is the righteousness of every human being. And the Bible stated that man should multiply. The multiplication is done by a male and a female.
But that's absolute crap, and you know it. You two go and sit up, and we'll see what Katie's doing, because this has all gone completely mad. Katie, how you doing? Thanks a lot, and thanks to all the guests tonight, apart from Shabba Ranks, who I personally can't find it in myself to thank. But thank you very much, Dani, for coming along, and sorry about our little falling out earlier on, because it turned out you were the nicest guest I spoke to, and you absolutely soaked me. Thanks, obviously, to Marky Mark, who turned up. And what was your opinion on all that happened? Because I noticed you were like, oh, let's not talk about that, let's have a laugh.
Well, you know, it's too heavy Friday night, you know. You want to have something chilling and, you know, as they say in Jamaica. But anyway, that's about it for this week. And, well, next week, I think... Mark, what do you think?
Well, I certainly won't be here, I can tell you that. But that has been my... I've just got other things to do. I'm far too busy. I'll be out shooting bigots, probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah, possibly.
Do you think we'll have Terry back then?
I hope so. I might shoot Terry as well.
What do you think?
And I've got the gun as well. Look after that. We'll look after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And this is for you.
Oh,
being the nicest guest.
Mark.
She has been very,
well,
very
that's
nice.
it for this week. Well. Come on, guys. This is not Christmas yet. That's it for this week. Next week, we've got Amanda Donohoe, Kevin Costner, and the Disposable Heroes. But playing us out tonight is Shabba Ranks with Dr. Paul, the Rough Cut Crew, and, well, of course, very guest star, Marky Mark. How about that, eh?
I wasn't listening. Sorry, I was getting so into it.